That's bad.
Alright, today is the day we finally take the Pro Street Starfire to the track and see what it's going to do. I'm going to make the prediction now. You guys can leave comments on what you think it's going to do. Leave your guesses below. I think it's going to go 1360. That's my guess. It's pretty warm out right now. It's like 87 degrees. This evening, the track's open at 6, so we'll get there around 6 or so. Probably hang out for a little bit, let it cool off. Should get back into the 70s. The DA might drop a little bit, but I think it'll probably be about a 13-second car. So I'm gonna get it loaded up here, and then we'll head over to Pops' place. He's got Jack there, and Herb is there with his El Camino. We're gonna take all of them. We're gonna meet John with his Turbo Blazer at the track, hopefully, and just have fun today. We just got to the track. Everybody's getting unloaded. The old truck started getting unhappy at the end there, but we'll see. Yeah, you can see she's not happy. So I'm gonna get the car unloaded and try and get it tucked in and see if we can make some passes today. Probably wait until the sun goes down though. So you're not worried about that trans?
It seemed like it was sure to worry about.
It blowing through it? Just stock clutches.
Get out there a ways first.
Yeah, get rolling a little bit. Try and get some momentum.
Yeah.
You want to show the people your car? Because I don't think my channel's seen your car at all. This is Herb's El Camino. Baddest El Camino this side of the Mackinac, right?
I know that, but yeah, we're gonna see small stroker, small block,
yeah.
Street car.
Oh yeah.
Still got a radio.
All the good ones are street cars.
That's right. Test the two-step before he got up there.
Oh, what'd you break?
Granny sucks bad.
Weird. All right, let's pause for a second. So, I was about to say that this is where things started to go downhill and start to suck, but that would be a flat out lie. Because things have sucked basically all day. So the day started with my dad and Herb changing their minds. We were initially supposed to go to the streets, and that's what I got the cars ready for. And things came around, and they changed their minds. They wanted to go to Martin, US 131, for the test and tune. We didn't know at the time that there was a pretty big bracket race going on that weekend, so tech was very stringent. And there was a lot of people there. Like, people were parked way past the timing boards. So, once they decide that, I'm like, shoot, I've got to try to get a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm not going to take the RX-7 to the track. It's not even close to tuned for the track. For the streets, where it's just like 5-6 of us messing around, I can put it on the two-step a bunch of times and data log and try to figure out the VE table and everything. And I can make like 60 foots, 300 foots, 1/8 mile rips, and try to get the thing dialed in, and while we're just having fun. Really low stakes kind of thing. At the track, kind of a different world. I didn't want to waste the money to get the thing loaded up to take there to basically get it dialed in. I don't want to take the RX-7. I still haven't really worked on the Fox body. Let's take the Starfire. That's probably the closest thing. So there's a few things that I had to do to that, including wiring up the tach and trying to fix the charging system that you saw in the last video, which we did. I'll get into it. So I'm already a little bummed about that. Not a big deal though. In the moment, I was really frustrated, but bigger picture, not a big deal. So I get the Starfire loaded up, head over to my dad's, and I'm just gonna work on it there real quick because Herb and his El Camino are there, Terrence is there hanging out, and I'm there just sweating my balls off trying to get the car wired up and getting frustrated and just having a bad time. And finally get it, we fire the car up, test the charging system, it seems to be charging. Wire the tach up and it's off like 1,000 RPM. We checked the timing on the car, and I think it was at 57 degrees, if I remember right. It was like 55 or 57 degrees. It had a ton of timing in it. I don't know if it was just someone trying to do it by ear previously or what, but Herb and I checked it, and we ended up setting it at 36, and it sounded a lot happier, so that's where we left it. And then after that, put the car on the battery charger, let it sit for about 45 minutes, and then we were ready to go. So I hit the road, truck was low on gas, so I'm like, sweet, we got to go right past a gas station. So I stopped in there, and the truck has 2 tanks, right? Old Fords have the front and rear tanks. So my thought was, at the time, I didn't think that the gas gauge worked on the front tank. Turns out it was just empty. So I was filling up the back tank, and then I was going to put a few gallons in the front in case I ran out. I could just switch to the other tank and get to a gas station. That was my plan. Gas is way too expensive to fill both tanks. Kind of funny situation there. So put the nozzle in the back tank. I'm filling it, trying to get the hatch and everything open and the fuel tank open in the Starfire so I can put some gas in that. Just some pump 93, nothing special. And while I'm doing that, I hear the pump shut off. I'm like, wow, I thought that thing was almost empty, but whatever, it'll save me a few bucks. And it stopped at 12 gallons. It's a 17-gallon tank, I think, 16 or 17 gallons. And I walk up and I pull the pump out, or pull the handle out, and I hear just and I'm like, what the frig is that? And I look down and this thing's just pooping its gas out. Like, as fast as it was going in, it was basically coming back out. So I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's horrible. So I quickly put a couple gallons in the front tank and then rack it up and pull ahead, put some gas in the Starfire so that thing's good to go, don't have to worry about it. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna start driving and try and burn the gas before it can come out. And it seems like, I think that it's just the fill neck. It was coming out of there, I guess. I don't know where else it would have come from, but I think it was just actually full and it was coming out of the fill neck or the overflow or something like that. So we hit the road, that sucks. I'm dropping just dollar bills behind me as I'm going. And we hit the road, everything's going, oh. So before any of this, before even getting the car loaded up, I had a bunch of crap in the back of the truck from when we put a sliding door in the back of my house. Had like insulation, boards, and drywall and shit. So I had to take the truck over to the burn pit at my dad's. I could have dumped it here, but I didn't want to. So take it there, get all that unloaded, go. Had to change the ball on the back of the truck because I had a 1 7/8. I needed a 2-inch. And do that, hook onto the trailer, and then I noticed the truck doesn't have any trailer lights. I never thought to look for any, and it's at that point that I'm like, fuck. So the whole way we're going to the track, I don't have any trailer lights, so Terrence followed behind me. And he sent me a text update at one point. He's like, yeah, you're still shitting gas. And I'm like, aight, perfect. So that truck has a little straight 6 in it. I say little, it's 300 inch. And it was doing pretty good. And on the way there, there's a bunch of hills and everything. So I'm trying to keep up with my dad and Herb, who are, yeah, V8, heck yeah, LS. And I'm like, blah, just boop, 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 boop. Meanwhile, on the truck, I'm like, come on. So we do that, make it all the way to the track, no more problems. I'm feeling good. I'm like, yeah, this is sweet. Look over, and I'm seeing just stacker trailer, stacker trailer, stacker, 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 enclosed, RVs everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, they're piled in way past the timing boards. There's an event this weekend. Oh, that sucks, because tech is usually like super stringent on those weekends. For like a Wednesday night test and tune, they'll usually just check throttle return spring and a battery hold down and then be like, all right, get out of here, you little rascal. Once I see that, I'm like, oh man, the tires on the Starfire have some like cracking and dry rot and stuff on the side. They're not gonna let me run. I just wasted this whole trip. And as I'm sitting there, my dad's like, hey, turn your truck off. You're puking transmission fluid. And I'm like, this is the worst. So I get under it and I look, and it's just dumping. This sucks. So we finally get in. We get pitted next to John. He's been there waiting for us, and I'm like, this is awful. This is like one of the worst days I've had in a while. So we get there and we get Jack unloaded, Herb gets his El Camino unloaded, and I'm just leaving the Starfire on the trailer. And I'm like, I'm just gonna wait a little bit and try and unwind, and then I'll unload the car and see what tech has to say. So I think you guys already saw the passes that Jack made. If you remember, we put a stock transmission in the truck to try and get it ready for this weekend, and then the built 400 is going back with Herb, and he's gonna have Tony look at it. Tony's the one who originally built the transmission. So we figured it'd be better to have the guy who's already been in there and knows the parts and everything, who put it together, look at it. Anyway, so you saw that Jack, the first pass, as soon as he hit the button, it just blew through the transmission, just smoked the clutches. It was just super unhappy. It was just a bad situation. And then he comes around for the second pass, and he's like, not even worth spraying. I'm just going to go on motor, see what it does. And it was still like hazing through the clutches. So that was kind of it for Jack. So I get the Starfire unloaded and fill the tech card out, go down to the tech booth. Car started right up, felt good. Oil pressure was good. Pulled up to the tech booth, and the dude is just, I can't be mad at him. He was just doing his job. 100%, nothing against him. but the little nitpicky shit that stopped it from passing tech. There wasn't a neutral safety switch. And he had asked Herb and John about it, and they were fine. He didn't like check it though, but he was gonna check me. And he was like, all right, I need you to fire the car up, and I'm gonna hit the kill switch in the back to make sure it turns off, and then we're gonna try and start it in gear and make sure that it doesn't start. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I know the kill switch will kill it, but I don't have a neutral safety switch. So I go to fire it up, and it's like, and I'm like, fuck. And he's like, well, without a neutral safety switch, and your lap belt is 2-inch, not 2.5-inch, and you don't have a radiator overflow, so out of luck. I'm like, this is just, today's the gift that keeps on giving. So end up just loading the car up and calling it a night early. Ended up leaving the track at 10:30, and I think we made it home a little bit before midnight because I was taking it super easy on the truck. Stopped at a gas station, topped off the transmission, and made it back totally fine, and it wasn't puking. So I think what happened was it was just really unhappy with me flooring it up the hills and on the highway, and it was just puking it out the vent at the top. So transmission should be fine. We've driven it since then, seems fine. But yeah, just stupid little stuff like that. This is just incredibly frustrating. And unfortunately, that's kind of all we were able to do because Herb and Terrence had to take off the next morning, so we weren't able to find time for anything else. We did have fun. You saw in the last video that we took the Starfire out on the street a little bit, and I got a ton of work done on the RX-7, got that thing running again, and I'm almost done wiring up all the stupid little stuff on it. So I'll probably get back to work on that here in a second. So hopefully next time we can actually get our ducks in a row and get something figured out. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell. I'll see you next time.